My husband said our daughter should go to therapy because she was too emotional. I thought he was just being harsh. Then I found her diary. She wrote, "I wish Dad would stop hugging my friend when I'm not around." My hand shook. I checked his phone. Messages. Venmo payments. Late night pickups. I called her friend's mom. We cried together. Then we called the police. He swore it wasn't like that. But now he's not allowed near schools. Or us. My daughter still cries some nights. But now she knows her feelings were never too much, they were warnings I should have heard sooner. My name's Sarah. I'm 42. I live in a small town outside of Dayton, Ohio. Been married to Rick for 16 years. We have one daughter, Lily. She just turned 13 in March. Lily's always been sensitive. She cries at dog commercials. Gets quiet after arguments. Holds on to things longer than she should. It used to drive Rick nuts. He grew up in one of those households where no one talks about anything real. Feelings were something to shut down or laugh off. So, when Lily started having a hard time at school, drama with friends, stress from grades, Rick didn't take it well. She's too emotional, he told me one night, slamming the fridge shut. She needs therapy. I asked what happened, and he shrugged. Said she had an attitude when he asked her to clean her room. Then he launched into this whole rant about how kids these days are soft, how she was acting out for attention. I told him maybe she just needed a break. It was the end of the school year. Her best friend, Maddie, had been spending less time with her. She was feeling left out. She's playing you, Rick said. You're letting her walk all over you. He always made it sound like she was trying to manipulate me. Like this little girl crying in her room was some master con artist. The more he talked, the more I started to doubt myself. Was I coddling her? Was I too soft? Then one night, I was putting laundry away in Lily's room. She was in the shower. I noticed her bed wasn't made right, lumpy in the middle. I pulled back the blanket, and there it was. A small diary with glitter on the front. No lock. Just a ribbon bookmark sticking out the side. I don't know what made me open it. Guilt hit me right away. But something told me to read. The first few pages were normal. Complaints about school. Teachers. A girl in class who copied her outfit. Then I got to a page that stopped me cold. I wish Dad would stop hugging my friend when I'm not around. I read it again. Sat down on her bed. My heart dropped. Another line, he always tells her she's so pretty. He never says that to me. I flipped ahead. Maddie told me Dad picked her up last week after practice. But he never told me. She thought I knew. He gives her money for snacks. He laughs at all her jokes. Sometimes I feel invisible when she's here. Then this one, I don't want to be home when she comes over anymore. I stared at the words. My fingers started shaking. My brain was trying to come up with an explanation, any reason why this might just be awkward timing, or a misunderstanding. But it didn't feel like that. It felt wrong. I put the diary back and left the room. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay next to Rick, watching him breathe. He looked so normal. Like the same man I married all those years ago. The man who changed diapers and watched cartoons with Lily when she was sick. The man who made her birthday pancakes every year. But something was off. The next day, I waited until he was in the shower. He used to let me use his phone. But he'd changed the password about 6 months ago. Said it was for work stuff. Claimed his company had new policies. I guessed it on the 4th try. It was Maddie's birthday. The messages were right there. At first, they seemed harmless. Then I kept scrolling. Text from Rick, "You looked cute today, LOL, don't tell Lily I said that." Another, "Want me to grab you after practice again?" Your mom seemed cool with it. Then, wish you were hanging out tonight instead of her. My stomach twisted. I checked Venmo. He had sent Maddie money. Multiple times. $10 here. $30 there. Once he sent $50 with the message treat yourself. I couldn't breathe. That night, I waited for Lily to fall asleep. Then I called Maddie's mom. I barely got the words out before she started crying too. She told me Maddie had mentioned weird things too. Like how Rick always offered to drive her places. How he complimented her hair. How once, when they were watching a movie at our house, he sat way too close on the couch. She had chalked it up to awkward dad behavior. But now, piecing it all together. We both sat there, sobbing on the phone. Mothers breaking open. Then we made the call. The police came the next morning. Rick swore up and down it wasn't like that. Said we were twisting everything. That he was just being nice to Maddie. Helping her out when her mom was busy. He tried to say Lily was just jealous. That girls that age make stuff up. That I was letting her weaponize her feelings. But it didn't matter. His phone was enough. He's not allowed near schools now. Not allowed near Maddie. Or Lily. Or me. He moved out 2 weeks after the investigation started. I changed the locks. Got a restraining order. Filed for divorce. Lily still cries sometimes. She curls up in my bed and clings to me like she did when she was 5. But now she knows I believe her. That her tears were never the problem. They were warnings. And I won't miss another one. It didn't end when Rick left. That was just the start of the fallout. After the police got involved, word spread fast. Small towns don't keep secrets. And ours was no different. At first, people pretended like nothing was happening. Some neighbors waved like usual. Others looked away when we passed. But soon, it changed. One morning, I went to the grocery store and felt it, the stares. The whispers. 2 women in the produce aisle stopped talking the second I walked by. One of them glanced at me, then nudged the other. I didn't need to hear what they said. I could feel it. Later that week, someone left a note in our mailbox. It was short. Written in all caps. You ruined a good man's life. I stood on the porch for a long time holding that paper. My hands were cold, even though it was warm out. The cop said it could have been anyone. No fingerprints. No cameras nearby. Just paper and ink and hate. Then Maddie's mom called me crying. Some people at her church told her she should have handled it quietly. Said she was tearing a family apart. That her daughter was probably just confused. Maddie started getting cold looks at school. Some kids called her a liar. One boy in her class muttered homewrecker under his breath when she walked by. She stopped going to class for a week. Wouldn't eat. Wouldn't talk. I begged Lily to stay strong. To ignore the whispers. But she heard them too. At lunch, someone asked if she made it all up because her dad liked her friend more. Another girl told her she should be ashamed. She came home that day and screamed into her pillow until her voice gave out. I held her. Told her none of this was her fault. But something in her eyes had changed. That light, the spark she used to have, it was fading. And then I got the text. From a number I didn't recognize. Late at night. One sentence, you're going to regret this. I sat up in bed, staring at the screen. I tried to trace it, but it was one of those apps that hides numbers. The next morning, my car tires were slashed. All 4. The cops said they couldn't prove who did it. No cameras. No witnesses. Rick's family stopped talking to me completely. His sister unfriended me on everything. His brother posted something vague online about false accusations destroying lives. People started saying I had brainwashed Lily. That she got it from me. That maybe I was the bitter one, and now I was turning my daughter into one too. Rick hired a lawyer. He wants partial custody. I didn't even know what to say when I got the papers in the mail. I took one look at them and felt sick. My own daughter. The one he ignored, belittled, and hurt, was now part of a custody case. His lawyer claimed there was no physical evidence. Just emotional misunderstandings. That the messages lacked context. That Maddie never said no. The hearing is coming up next month. And now I have to explain to my daughter that the man who made her feel like nothing, still wants control. The day after I got the custody papers, Lily stopped eating. Not skipped meals. Not being picky. She just stopped. I'd cook her favorite mac and cheese, the kind with too much butter, the way she likes it. She'd take a bite, chew slow, then say her stomach hurt. I tried not to panic. But by day 3, she hadn't touched more than a few crackers. That night, I found her in the bathroom, sitting on the floor with the lights off. I asked her what was wrong, and she whispered, "He's going to take me." She wasn't crying this time. Her voice was flat. Numb. I wrapped my arms around her and said, "I won't let him." I meant it. But she didn't respond. Just stared straight ahead. The next morning, I called her therapist. I pulled every string I had to get an emergency appointment. It helped a little. But Lily was slipping. And school wasn't helping. Someone spray-painted liar across her locker. Another girl posted a picture of her and Maddie with the caption, "Wanna ruin a man's life? Just cry and write in a diary." We filed another report. The school promised they were investigating. But it didn't matter. The damage was done. That weekend, Maddie tried to end her life. Pills. She was found in her room by her older brother, barely conscious. She survived. Barely. She's in a psych unit now. Her mom told me through tears that the doctors said if they had found her 30 minutes later, she wouldn't be here. That same night, Rick posted on Facebook for the first time since all this started. A long post. Filled with half-truths. Said he missed his daughter. Said he was being punished for being kind. That jealousy and pain had turned into lies. He never named us directly, but everyone knew. Within an hour, it had over 300 likes. People commented things like "Stay strong, man," and "Your daughter will realize the truth one day." I didn't sleep at all that night. 2 days later, I got a call from the police. The prosecutor had dropped part of the case. Not all of it, but enough that Rick wouldn't be facing jail time. Not enough evidence. The texts? Inappropriate, but not illegal. The Venmo payments? Odd, but explainable. The emotional manipulation? Subjective. The restraining order still held. But now he had more ground to fight for custody. His lawyer was pushing harder than ever. Then one of the investigators called me privately. Off the record. He said, "You need to look into his past. Outside of Ohio." That's when I remembered something Rick had mentioned once, years ago. A girl in his old neighborhood, back in Missouri, who had a crush on him when he was in his 20s. He'd laughed about it at the time. Said she was obsessed. Claimed she told lies about him. I never thought twice about it. Until now. So I called a friend of mine, a reporter who owed me a favor. I asked her to look into Rick's history. She dug. A week later, she called back. Her voice was shaking. There had been a sealed case. Back in 2008. A 14-year-old girl. Rick was 24. The family never pressed full charges. They moved away. The case got buried under insufficient evidence. But it was there. The girl's name. The incident report. Same patterns. Same excuses. My knees gave out when I heard it. All these years, and I never knew. He had done this before. Now I had proof. But the system? The same one that let that girl down in 2008, it might let him walk again. And I wasn't going to let that happen. After I found out about the sealed case in Missouri, everything changed. The reporter friend helped me get a copy of the old police report. It was redacted but clear enough. Her name was Natalie. 14 years old. Same story. Same lies. I sat at my kitchen table for hours, just staring at the report. I wanted to scream. I wanted to burn every picture of him we ever took. But instead, I printed copies. Dozens. Put them in folders. Mailed them. To the judge on our custody case. To the school board. To every PTA parent who called my daughter a liar. Then I made a decision. One I thought I'd never make. I found Natalie. She lived in Kansas now. She was married, had 2 kids. I sent a letter. I kept it short and honest. I told her what happened here. What Rick had done again. She called me. Her voice shook the whole time. She told me she'd never healed. That her family had buried it because no one believed her. But she never forgot. And she still had a journal. Just like Lily's. She agreed to speak up. Not just to the police, but to the media. The article dropped on a Wednesday. Front page of the local paper, man accused of grooming teen had prior abuse allegations in Missouri. It blew up fast. Then a local TV station picked it up. Then it went national. Suddenly, the people who defended Rick went quiet. The neighbors who glared at me started avoiding eye contact. The "he's a good guy" Facebook commenters deleted their posts. Even Rick's family started backing away. His sister released a statement saying she had no idea and stood with the victims. His brother went offline completely. But the biggest shift came at the hearing. Rick showed up in a suit, looking smug. He thought this was just going to be more red tape. Another attempt to paint him as a villain. Then Natalie walked in. His face went pale. She took the stand. So did Maddie's mom. And Lily's therapist. And Lily, God help me. My baby girl stood up and told the court everything. Her voice cracked. Her hands shook. But she spoke. Clear. Brave. Rick didn't say a word after that. Not when the judge stripped him of all custody. Not when the order was changed to permanent. Not when he was told he couldn't come within 500 feet of any of us again. But it didn't stop there. The Missouri case was reopened. Now, with multiple victims, the DA had enough to move forward. They arrested Rick 2 weeks later. Charged him with crimes that carried real time. He tried to run. Didn't get far. The last time I saw him, he was in cuffs. Hollow-eyed. No words. No smirk. Gone. He was sentenced to 18 years in prison. He might get out one day. But it won't matter. Because by then, Lily will be grown. Stronger. I kept her diary. And Maddie's mom gave me copies of Maddie's too. We put them in a box with Natalie's journal. 3 voices. 3 girls. 1 predator, finally stopped. Lily's light is slowly coming back. She laughs sometimes now. Smiles when she thinks I'm not looking. She still sleeps with the light on. Still asks me to stay close some nights. But there's power in her again. She knows what too many girls are never told, her feelings weren't too much. Her voice wasn't too soft. She was right. And I will never again ignore what her heart is trying to say. Not ever. Not for anyone.